back. The next one is distribution sector. So, measures which were taken to improve the distribution sector performances. State electricity regulatory commissions must provide license to distribution utilities. That is to be taken care. The next thing is any vendor who has come for getting a license for distribution, he can generate power, or who has taken generation, he can also distribute the power. So vice versa is possible. And next thing is recording the tariffs point of recording the license. License is to be given by State Electricity Regulatory Commission at the state level. At the central level, Central Electricity Regulatory Commission will give the license. If you want to distribute the power in more number of states, you should get permission from the respective state governments and also from the Central Electricity Regulatory Commission. And tariffs will be decided by the CERC and the SCRC. At the state level, SCRC will decide. The central level, CERC will decide. And for all the distribution sector, even agricultural sector also, mandatory metering is required. Now this has become an issue nowadays, mandatory metering. Because nobody wants to have meters. In 1970s, which we have discussed during the evolution, most of the state governments, they provided free power to everyone. Now, the agricultural people, the agricultural customers now, they are not ready to set up electricity meters. So that has become an issue right now. The next thing is Electricity Regulatory Commission, which issues licenses, now has the authority to suspend anyone who is working or who has a license. So they can suspend or revoke license. That complete authority rests in the hands of Electricity Regulatory Commission, whether it is state or central. And if it is in the state, ERC must take the responsibility of open access of transmission lines. And also power wheeling provisions are to be allowed. So all these things have been implemented successfully in Electricity Act 2003. And except metering is also now mostly done for all the sectors. And the concept is that even though we are encouraging more number of private players in the distribution sector, still it is not happening to the max. And next is consumer protection. So many measures have been taken to protect the consumers, because earlier the performance of electricity sector was very sluggish. So that's why many things have been introduced. There was consumer is to be given connection within stipulated time. If not, action will be taken. In case of failure to give connection, penalty will be there. And we will be paying security deposit, right? At the time of when we ask for a connection, we will be paying security deposit. And on that security deposit, interest must be taken and interest must be paid to the customer when he takes back the connection. That is to be implemented. And Electricity Supply Code, ERC, is to be taken care. ERC has to take the responsibility of providing Electricity Supply Code. And next is no sum due from consumers recoverable after a period of 2 years unless the same was shown recoverable continuously. So if you are for 2 years, after 2 years there must be no sum due. So let us suppose within the 2 years, if nobody has given you any bill and after 2 years they are asking you that this is electricity bill, then it is not valid. So all these things, they were introduced by the government, but how far they are successful, that God knows. Even to this day also, if you go for the connection now, the performance has improved. That is for great. But the consumers do not know that these are the measures which have been taken in Electricity Act 2003. The fact is that these are there, but the consumers don't know that these are the benefits which they do have. So this must be given wide publicity among all the consumers, that there are provisions. If you don't get electricity within a time, then automatically you can go with applying for a penalty. Then if you are paying security deposit, then whenever you are withdrawing your security deposit, you will be getting interest also. All these things are there, but the consumers are not aware of these things. So wide publicity is to be taken care of. And next is grievance result form. This is also a big question. It is there, or it is being implemented. That is also a big question. And any distribution licenses, they must meet standards of performance as specified by the ERC. In failure, it leads to compensation to affected person in 90 days. Let us suppose if I am a consumer, if I do have any lightning or something, and if anything damages in my home, if anything of goods in my home get damaged, then I will file a complaint there with the local discom, and they will come and they will check and they will resolve that issue and they will pay for the compensation. But how far it is working properly, that is also a big question, because the consumers are not aware of the provisions which they do have. And next is electricity trading. Regarding the electricity trading, in Electricity Act 2003, we had this concept of implementing electricity trading in our country. So, and that responsibility should be taken care by ERC. See, how much electricity is to be traded? See, whenever you are setting up a market, electricity market, how much must be traded there? Should we allow the entire trading of electricity within the market itself, or should we allow only partly of the electricity to be traded? And what must be the caps must be there on the electricity prices? That entire thing is to be taken care by ERC. So ERC is the prime person who must take the responsibility for electricity trading in our country. And fortunately, we had started this trading also. We had this Power Trading Corporation, and now even NTPC also has a separate entity where it trades the power which it has generated. And next comes ERC, right? ERCs have already been constituted. SERCs, JERCs, Joint Electricity Regulatory Commission for State, for Union Territories. And Appellate Tribunal, it has also been constituted with one chairman and 3 members. And I have already told you that why Appellate Tribunal? To reduce the litigations. And if you are not satisfied with the Appellate Tribunal decision, you can go to the Supreme Court. And finally, Central Electricity Authority. I think I have already mentioned the Central Electricity Authority. What is the role of the Central Electricity Authority? That has been clearly mentioned. Central Electricity Authority will remain as a technical advisor to the Government of India or to the state government, and it will take responsibility of the planning of electricity sector. And next is, and it also specifies technical and safety standards, and also technical advisor to electricity regulatory commissions. That will be taken care by CEA. And next is tariff. Regarding tariffs, entire responsibility is being given to ERC, and particularly in case of competitive bidding or bilateral contracts, the rule states that there is no question of any fixing of tariff by the ERC. It is completely responsibility of the two parties. And always ensure that the tariffs must reduce cross subsidies and move towards actual costs. And next is regarding theft of electricity. This has become a very big issue during 1970s and 80s. Theft of electricity, and it is not being recorded properly. Who uses, even to this day also, ATC losses are somewhere around 80 to 40% in the distribution sector. So, Electricity Act 2003 clearly mentioned to focus on revenue realization rather than criminal proceedings. So, there will be penalties linked to connected load in quantum of energy and financial gain involved in the theft. So, higher the load which you have consumed, then higher penalty will be there. And assessment of electricity charges. Nowadays it is fully happening, theft of electricity. Even you might be seeing, even for political parties also now, even if you go to the villages also, most of the people, they will just drop 2 wires onto the transmission and they will start consuming electricity. Even in most of the houses also, they will be using multiple meters to overcome the net reading. If you do have 4 rooms, they will be setting up 4 meters so that each meter will get only 100 units, because if it is collectively 400 units means we will be having different price. So theft of electricity is happening everywhere. So this is a serious issue now. Actually, there is a Electricity Act 2003. It encourages imprisonment also if you for any theft of electricity. But how far it is being implemented? Even the government also, even for the government implemented things also, there is so much theft of electricity happening. Next is restructuring of SEBs. This has happened after 2003. So rather than a single entity, multiple entities have been created separately for generation, transmission, and distribution. So which path state governments can take the decision? In our state also, we had this separate GENCO, transport and distribution utilities. Multiple distribution utilities have come into picture. Yeah, and this is the scenario. And I hope that now you are able to understand what is the impact of Electricity Act 2003 on the Indian power sector.